Mixed reaction today concerning the tariffs that Donald Trump has imposed upon the EU, how it's going to affect Ireland, what the strategy is going forward. Will it be a complete catastrophe? It seems to be this will be done in two stages. So there's general tariffs that he's slapping on. He's leaving pharmaceuticals out for now in Ireland, but they're not off the table completely. And I think the government knows that, and I think anybody with any sense in their head knows that. And when those particular tariffs are kicked in, it's going to have a catastrophic event for the Irish economy. The politicians, the so-called leaders of the country, are, I think, bracing people for this period of, as they call it, unprecedented economic turbulence. So let's get a summary of what's been said. We'll hear a little summary here and there. We'll hear from Donald Trump concerning his long-term plans about the pharmaceutical industry in Ireland. And then we will hear at the end from Micheál Martin about what he's going to do to protect Ireland's jobs and to protect Ireland's economies. So let's get a little summary here, and I think this sums it up quite well.
Trade war has been fired. Here's what it means for Ireland. A 20% tariff on all EU exports to the US will hit Irish food and drink hard. Jobs could be impacted. Kerrygold butter, Irish whiskey, very much in the firing line, particularly when it's only a 10% tariff applying to rival UK products going into the US market. That means they could be undercut. Pharmaceuticals were left out last night, but perhaps not for long. The government expects they'll be singled out for their own tariff. Donald Trump says he wants the pharmaceutical sector back in the US, or else it'll face a big tariff.
Notice, by the way, he's talking about the EU a lot here. And interestingly, Northern Ireland is only being hit by a 10% tariff, whereas the so-called Republic of Ireland is being hit by a 20% tariff. Of course, Northern Ireland is technically not in the EU, and many people believe that membership of the EU is proving to be detrimental for Ireland. And now we're going to start seeing why, because it's a big, we're all in this together. We allow free movement. We allow this, we allow that. Now it's coming back to bite them on the ass. And you're going to see that throughout the other videos and commentaries that are here as well. But that's worth noting. And also let it be said that I don't think, with respect to Kerrygold butter or whiskey, that's not going to be the be all and end all of this. It's going to be painful, but the real pain, the real suffering is going to come in the big pharma sector, and it's looming on the horizon.
So how does Ireland respond? Well, Ireland doesn't want to go tit for tat with the US. They feel that will hit consumers here at the checkouts. As well as that, they were worried that the tech sector might be dragged into this, something that will be very damaging for the Irish economy. Economists say there are no winners in a trade war.
No winners in a trade war. The pharma sector seems to be unscathed as per now, but I mean, they're bracing themselves for what's coming concerning big pharma, and also the tech sector, the pharma sector, the Irish economy very heavily reliant on it. We're going to get a comment on that here concerning the looming tariff that's coming on big pharma.
Comfort from that pharmaceuticals not included for now?
Yeah, that's good. That's got to be good. We all agree that's clearly the facts show that it's the biggest proportion of our goods sales to the United States. That's a positive. I suppose another positive, or something that was I had concern about, that the Trump administration would try a divide and rule with the EU and would sort of hit Denmark with a higher tariff to try and pressurize it over taking over Greenland, and then maybe not hit Hungary because the political relationship there. So that hasn't happened. So we can take some comfort in that. But overall, the emphasis here on bringing production back to the United States. This is the really, it's
That's
not
just he wants the pharmaceutical industry back.
Ireland has
America.
created a hub, has become a hub in the transatlantic EU-US economy, and we're a place for US businesses to do business into Europe and into the United States more recently. If the goal of the Trump administration is to bring American companies back to the US and have less production outside the US, that is a really profound threat, because they are the twin engines, pharma and tech, largely American owned, are the sort of supercharged engines of this economy. And if they get pushed and lured and their business environment in Europe becomes less good, that is very much bad for Ireland.
Yeah, very much bad for Ireland. So that's why I'm saying don't pay too much attention to the Kerrygold butter story. The big story in this is big pharma and tech. And here we have, this is just a flashback to what Trump said himself. This is when he had Micheál Martin in the White House 5 days or whatever it was before St. Patrick's Day. He wasn't invited on St. Patrick's Day. Conor McGregor was. And McGregor is also pushing at this moment for Ireland to split from the EU. The very damaging EU migration pact is destroying Ireland. Now he's pushing, saying, look, it's detrimental economically as well. Britain's only been hit by a 10% tariff. Ireland's been hit by a 20% tariff, and even within Ireland, if you split it up, Northern Ireland, Southern Ireland, the North and the North is hitting 10% tariffs, the South is getting 20% tariffs. So this is Trump explaining why Ireland has had it so good for so long, and he says, good for them, but it's going to change.
Massive deficit with Ireland, because Ireland was very smart. They took our pharmaceutical companies away from presidents that didn't know what they were doing. And, it's too bad that happened. It's a tremendous job. I give, look, the Irish are smart. You're smart people. And you took our pharmaceutical companies and other companies, but, through taxation and proper taxation. The EU was set up in order to take advantage of the United States.
Including Ireland? Is Ireland taking advantage of the US?
Of course they are.
Of course they are. Of course Ireland is taking advantage of the United States, and he pays lip service. The Irish people are very, very smart. What he's saying is there's no more screwing around. I'm here. I'm in situ now, and this is not going to continue. And again, the EU is mentioned. This EU business will make or break a country.
And, I have great respect for Ireland and what they did. And they should have done just what they did. But the United States shouldn't have let it happen. We had stupid leaders. We had leaders that didn't have a clue. Or let's say they weren't business people, but they didn't have a clue what was happening. And all of a sudden, Ireland has, our pharmaceutical companies and this beautiful island of 5 million people has got the entire U.S. pharmaceutical industry in its grasp. And,
Listen to that. And that's beautifully put. This little island of 5 or so million people has got the entire US pharmaceutical industry in its grip. And he's showing shock. How the heck has this been allowed to happen through previous weak, stupid leadership? But really what he's saying, if you want to translate this, he's saying it stops now. This has gone on for too long. They've been getting it too good for too long. We're going to bring this back. We're bringing this back. And he's acting in shock, but he knows what time it is. And he's just being very polite in how he's phrasing this.
You mentioned housing and you mentioned other things. I have property in Ireland, as you know, and I love it. It does great. But I'd like to see the United States not have been so stupid for so many years.
So listen to that language. Listen to that language from Trump, and again set it against this backdrop of, we've got some breathing space. We've got some breathing space because Big Pharma wasn't mentioned. He has specific plans for the Big Pharma tax, tariff, call it what you want, and he's made it clear Ireland has had it too good for too long. I can't believe they've got our pharma industry in their grip. This little island, I've got a few properties there. I love it. The people are wonderful, but it ends. It's going to end. So lastly, let's hear from Micheál Martin. And he starts off, hello. So this is a little message he put together after these tariffs were announced late last night, with last night being Wednesday night. This is his response. And bear in mind, if you're looking to Micheál Martin, if you've been foolish enough to put your trust in him or vote for him, which apparently people did, because they thought he's a good leader. This is who you now have representing you on the world stage and fighting your corner to preserve the Irish economy and the Irish job market.
I strongly believe that tariffs benefit no one. They're bad for the world economy. They hurt people. They hurt businesses. And so I regret deeply the decision of the US administration this evening to levy a tariff of 20% on all goods imported from the European Union. My priority and
European Union. It's bad, bad, bad.
That of the government is to protect Irish jobs and the Irish economy. And we will work with our companies, multinational companies and Irish companies, to navigate the period ahead. We will work with our European Union colleagues in getting on a negotiation pathway with the US to limit the damage of these tariffs. And we'll also work bilaterally with the US, pointing out the added value and the strength that Ireland has given to so many US companies who are located in Ireland and to export to the European Union and to Asia and across the world. So government will continue to work on behalf of the Irish people in the context of tonight's announcement to protect Irish jobs and the Irish economy.
So there you have it. Micheál says he's going to be working hard, working in conjunction with his European Union colleagues to protect Irish jobs and to protect the Irish economy. Are you buying this? Or can you see what's coming? They're telegraphing what's coming. And the hammer didn't fall completely last night from Trump because he's saving the big pharma business and possibly the big tech business for a later time. It would have been just too brutal to dump all that in one go last night. So we're starting with Kerrygold butter. Lovely stuff, by the way, Kerrygold butter, but that's not going to be where the real pain lies. They know it's coming. Do you know it's coming? Do the people that you work with, the people that you live with, do they know it's coming? What do you think below? Or is this all going to be much ado about nothing? I'm Rick Munn, No Risk, No Reward Media, over and out.